Help me reach my goal and subscribe. And hit the bell icon.
Chapter 6781. While the audience was still watching the rehearsal highlights of Tawana and Saa on the big screens in the center and on both sides of the stage, Charlie had already come to the stage lift with Saa. This time, he will go up to the stage with Saa. Charlie wore a full set of armor. He had a mask on his head and held a sword in his right hand, while Saa, who was wearing a long dress in the Pekin style, stood beside Charlie, holding Charlie's hand and interlocking her fingers with him. Then, the Chinese-style prelude of the stage sounded, and the staff immediately said to the two, "Please get ready, the countdown to the stage begins, 3, 2, 1. As soon as the voice fell, the elevator quickly lifted and sent the two directly to the stage. At this moment, the style of the stage has also changed greatly from before. The background seems to have come to paradise under Zhongnanshan, and the breeze blows through the valley, full of colorful wildflowers and butterflies. Saa, who has never had any scandals with any stars in the entertainment industry, suddenly appeared hand in hand with a man in armor, which surprised many Chinese fans who were familiar with her. Saa not only has no scandals in her life, but also has never had close contact with any opposite S3X. But she never thought that she would wear ancient costumes today and go on stage hand in hand with a man whose face could not be seen. Charlie was actually a little nervous. Although he had seen the world, he had never seen such a world. There were tens of thousands of people gathered in front of him. And for someone like him who was on stage for the first time, he was inevitably flustered. Originally, everyone thought that Saa should sing this song with this man. But unexpectedly, after the two came to the stage hand in hand, the masked man held a long sword and performed swordsmanship on the stage elegantly. Everyone realized that the man in armor was the dancer of this song. But why would Saa go on stage hand in hand with a dancer? Is it just for the stage effect of this song? That's too much of a sacrifice, right? It has never happened before. However, everyone's attention was soon attracted by the masked dancer on the stage. His movements were smooth and unrestrained, which was impressive. Then, the music style changed, the emperor was in power and the people were living in misery. Charlie put away his sword and prepared to say goodbye to Saa. Saa hugged him from behind while singing, with a look of reluctance on her face. At this time, the dancers who played the enemy army all came on stage and fought with Charlie. The big screen magnified Charlie's every move, making the tens of thousands of people on the scene very enjoyable, as if watching an action movie without NG, and one shot to the end. As Charlie continued to fight with his sword, many viewers actually saw the feeling of blood boiling. When Charlie killed the emperor all the way and returned with a sword, another ancient costume beauty suddenly rose on the lifting stage. And it was a blonde ancient costume beauty. The big screen immediately switched the lens, and everyone was surprised to find that the blonde ancient costume beauty who rose up was actually Tawana Sweet. No one expected that Tawana would sing a song with Saa. And, even more unexpectedly, Tawana even changed into a Chinese ancient costume, which looked pleasing to the eye. When Tawana opened her mouth, everyone was even more shocked, because as soon as she opened her mouth, she spoke in standard Chinese pronunciation, and her singing was melodious and beautiful, which was far from her usual wild image, shocking but refreshing. Chapter 6782. Charlie had already returned to the center from the back of the stage. And Tawana couldn't wait to meet him. Threw herself into his arms and hugged him tightly. There was a burst of screams at the scene. Then, just like Saa did when she first appeared on stage, she interlocked her fingers with Charlie and held his hands tightly. When the two walked to the front of the stage hand in hand, the camera projected Tawana's face on the big screen. She was shy and her hands holding the hem of her skirt were as nervous as a bride in a wedding dress. In the past, Tawana was very unrestrained on the stage. And even her dressing style was extremely hot. But who would have thought that Tawana, at this time, seemed to have changed into a beautiful and shy little girl? She held Charlie's hand and sang her part of the song. There was only one sentence left. And Saa came forward and sang a different part, with her to harmonize with each other. Originally, when the last sentence was sung, the song would end completely. And Saa would bow to the audience and end her guest performance. But no one expected that when Tawana finished singing the last sentence, she suddenly stood on tiptoe on the stage, raised her head and kissed Charlie's masked lips. Although Charlie's mask was hard, it had become a little warm after being worn on his face for a few minutes. Tawana tiptoed and kissed Charlie passionately. There was only a thin layer of mask material between them, which caught Charlie off guard. The audience was almost all excited. Although Tawana had a hot stage style, she had never been so intimate with the dancers on stage. This was an active kiss. And even if she was wearing a mask, it was only a thin mask. This ambiguous feeling filled the whole audience, leaving everyone stunned. Saa was stunned, but she quickly adjusted herself. She had long seen Tawana's forbearance and inferiority towards Charlie. How could Tawana let go of this opportunity to express her inner feelings? At this time, there was a thunderous applause from the audience. Everyone thought that the reason why Tawana kissed the dancers so selflessly was that she was completely immersed in the artistic conception of the song. After all, this song reflects the reunion of the assassin and his lover after going through untold hardships and life and death. At this time, it should be extremely exciting and desperate. So it is understandable that Tawana is so devoted. However, soon everyone felt strange. If Tawana took the initiative to kiss, because the atmosphere of the song was right and she was immersed in it. But until the song stopped, Tawana still maintained the state just now. And even unconsciously hugged the dancer dressed as an assassin. The camera kept capturing Tawana's face and projected high-definition close-ups on the big screen in real time. Tens of thousands of viewers could clearly see that tears were silently falling from the corners of Tawana's eyes. She seemed to be afraid that the man in front of her would leave her again. She hugged him tightly and kissed him, and tears kept flowing. The audience was stunned. Tawana's agent was also stunned. She had only one thought in her mind. How the hell should I send out the press release later? And how should I lead the rhythm to pull the style back and not be suspected? Her feeling of being in love, but not being able to get it is too obvious. Isn't it? Sister, if you really want to kiss him, can't you just kiss him in person after he takes off his mask? You did this in front of tens of thousands of people. In a few minutes, this scene will probably be circulated on short video platforms around the world. You have booked the global hot searches. You are happy, but what should I do? Don't forget that you still have a boyfriend. Who the hell can come to save me? Chapter 6783. Charlie was speechless at this moment. He rarely loses his mind about a matter and doesn't know what to do. But this is exactly the case now. If Tawana insists on kissing through the mask, then as a grown man, he will let her kiss him. The key is that this woman will never stop kissing. Who can stand this? The more important thing is that this is on the stage now. This is not what can be described as a public place. How many people are in a public place? A gathering of 100 people can be called a public place. This is tens of thousands of people. And after tonight, it is unknown how many tens of millions of people will watch related videos online. Even if Charlie has a good psychological quality, he can't stand it. But Tawana doesn't care. She really doesn't care at all. Tens of thousands of people are watching. So what's the big deal? When she dates someone, aren't tens of millions of people paying attention? As long as she falls in love, she will definitely be in the global entertainment headlines. She is used to it. Besides, is the opportunity to hug and kiss Charlie so easy to come by? Of course, she has to seize this opportunity. So, he reminded softly, the song is over. Tawana knew that the song was over. But she still hugged Charlie tightly and was unwilling to let go. As if she were afraid that Charlie would disappear into the thin air. Charlie had no choice but to threaten her in a low voice. If you do this again, I won't perform in the next 3 shows. When Tawana heard this, she was surprised and said, "Then you are not allowed to cheat in the next 3 shows." After that, she quickly let go of him, quietly wiped away her tears, and then turned to find Saar to bow. The audience at the scene had been stunned just now. Suddenly saw Tawana turn around and hold Saar's hand, and bow to the audience together. Everyone didn't react for a while. Tawana knew that her performance just now was indeed a bit too abrupt. So she could only lie and say, "I'm sorry, that song just now really made people feel involved. I am also very honored to have the opportunity to sing this song with Saar. Thank you, everyone, thank you, Saar. Thank you, Eastcliff." When the stunned audience heard this, they realized that Tawana was too immersed in the play just now. And they couldn't help but admire her for a while. The queen is indeed a queen. And she sings more emotionally than ordinary people. Then thunderous applause rang out at the scene. And the atmosphere of the whole concert reached its climax at this moment. Charlie finally breathed a sigh of relief. Although he took the elevator with Saar when he went on stage for the performance, it was all for the performance effect of the song. Now that the performance is over, as a dancer, he should not take the elevator with the star to leave. So he turned around and strode off the stage. At this time, Saar, as the guest of this concert, all her performances ended here. So she picked up the microphone and said with a smile, "Thanks for the invitation from Tawana. It is a great honor to perform on the same stage with her. At the same time, on behalf of Eastcliff, I would like to express my heartfelt welcome to her. I hope she will have the opportunity to come to China and Eastcliff more often in the future. I also hope that everyone can enjoy this night. Thank you, goodbye from Saar." The scene once again erupted in deafening applause and cheers for the audience who paid to watch Tawana's performance. Chapter 6784. Tonight is indeed a rare audiovisual feast. The audience who originally liked Saa were naturally very happy. And those who did not seek to know her a step further also had a good impression of her after tonight's performance. Afterward, Saa and Tawana hugged each other again. Tawana hugged her tightly and whispered in her ear with shame. "I'm sorry, Saa, I really couldn't help it." Saa smiled and said, "Why are you saying sorry to me? I'm not his wife." After that, she patted her on the back and told her, "Perform well, I'm going now." Tawana was deeply moved and nodded reluctantly. Saa came to the top of the elevator, bowed to the audience again, and waved. "Thank you again for your support, bye." After that, the elevator started, and Saa disappeared from the stage. Tawana had adjusted her mentality at this time. As the prelude to the next music sounded, she re-entered her own performance. At this time, after Charlie came down from the stage, he went directly to the dressing room. He removed all his makeup, and after seeing his clothes, he looked at himself in the mirror and felt more or less helpless. If he had known that this would happen after the talk, he would never agree to dance with them. He is a person who cares about his reputation. If his identity is really spread one day, will he still have this reputation? Just as he was thinking about it, there was a knock on the door. Charlie said, "Come in." And then he saw Saa walking in with a smile. "Charlie." She came to him and said in a delicate voice, "Charlie, you are so lucky in love tonight." Charlie felt a headache. What kind of love luck is this? I'm so embarrassed. She came to him, looked at him closely, and said with a smile, "Such a beautiful top star, she took the initiative to throw herself into your arms on the stage and kissed you. Isn't this considered love luck?" Charlie shook his head seriously. "No, of course not. I don't have that feeling for her. At best, she is just half a partner and half a friend. When she did this, I wanted to just disappear from the stage and be considered as lucky with love." Saa deliberately said, "Oh," and said shyly, "So this is not luck with love. Your definition of luck with love is really high." After that, she suddenly came to him and asked him, "Charlie, then I want to know. This is considered luck with love?" Charlie was still puzzled. What kind? Saa smiled and kept it a secret, saying, "That's it." After that, while he had no time to react, she stood on tiptoe and kissed his mouth with her cherry-like tender and rosy lips. Charlie was caught off guard again, and the whole person had no time to react. When their lips were tightly pressed together, when he felt the warm and tender touch of Saa's lips, and the faint sweet taste, his whole brain was dizzy. And he also felt a different kind of throbbing. His heartbeat suddenly accelerated. But Saa didn't seem to want to separate from him at this time. She closed her eyes and kissed him carefully and greedily. Charlie couldn't help asking himself, "Charlie, Charlie, you are a master. The Earl of Warriors' Den wanted to kill you but failed. How come you are attacked by two women one after another? You are degrading yourself." Dear readers, you might have observed narrative pacing in the story by now. The story is entering a new phase, and you will witness it in the chapters later. Stay with us to enjoy the journey. Thank you. Chapter 6785. At this moment, Charlie didn't know whether he didn't react or didn't want to react. Saa's soft and sweet lips kissed him, as if She had cast a spell on him, making him feel unable to move. After a long time, he felt her increasingly heavy breathing. And he also felt that the impulse was becoming more and more difficult to suppress. Although he didn't want to admit it, the lust continued to spread in their hearts, so that the room was filled with an ambiguous atmosphere. Charlie's heart suddenly became very entangled. In the past, he always regarded Sarah as a sister and never had any improper thoughts. After so many years, the little sister has grown up. Not only has she become graceful, but she has also remained infatuated with him. Now, she actually took the initiative to kiss him. And worse, it is some passionate kissing. This feeling made him psychologically repulsive. But physically, he seemed to have fallen into a trap that he could not escape. While entangled, he was also a little disappointed with himself, because at this moment he realized that his heart was not as firm as he imagined. This feeling is like, I used to think I had no weaknesses, but now I find that I actually do have weaknesses. Seeing this feeling of confusion and infatuation becoming stronger, he gently dodged Sarah's kiss and whispered, Sarah, if other people see it, your reputation will be ruined. Sarah looked at him stubbornly and asked, Do I care? Charlie said helplessly, You should care, you have to care. No, I don't care at all. Sarah answered decisively, and stood on tiptoe to meet him again. Fearing that he would retreat, she took the initiative to hug his waist and kissed his lips again. While kissing, she said vaguely, Charlie, I can accept Tawana kissing you, because I know she has you in her heart. But don't forget, I have you in my heart too. And it has been more than 20 years. After that, she finally plucked up the courage. Her eyes were red and her voice was soft. She said, Charlie, I know that the so-called 3-year agreement you promised my parents before was just a delaying tactic. I understand your situation and your difficulties. I cannot ask you to marry me. Even if we don't get married in the future, I can accept it. But I really want to give birth to a son for you. And it happens that you will stay in the capital for several days this time. Just promise me, okay? Charlie hurriedly shook his head. Sarah, this kind of thing is not so trivial. You said before that you would give me some time. Why do you suddenly bring up this topic now? Sarah said aggrievedly. Didn't people see that Tawana kissed you? Since she is so courageous, then my courage should be greater than hers. Yes, how long has she liked you? And how long have I liked you? Since she has the courage to kiss you, then I have the courage to give myself to you. After that, she carefully wiped away her tears and said seriously, As long as you nod, I will go with you tonight. Or you will go home with me. Charlie could only patiently comfort her. Sarah, now is really not the time to discuss this issue. Don't forget that I am already married. If I have a relationship with you and you have my child, then what am I? Extramarital affairs, illegitimate children, let alone whether you can lift your head. I can't lift my head myself.